Welcome to episode 3 of Purgatory Perceptions. We got a guest host, Stephanie Grajales. A great artist is our special interview guest, Alfredo Martinez, and we're going to get music from Harry Allen and company. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Thanks a lot.
I'm Stephanie Grajales, and I'm here with Harry Allen today, and we're here at Harry's Food and Drink.
It's my restaurant. No, it's not my
no,
restaurant.
yeah.
It's named after me. No, it's not named after me either.
But so I have a couple questions for you regarding, I guess, the time now since I would say around March, April. How has this time been for you in general, being home and not being able to do those things that we consider quote unquote normal?
Yeah, well, it's forced retirement. The music business well, the performing music business is basically over, for the time being, and other than a few outdoor concerts. But I decided to try to make a good thing out of a bad thing, and so I immediately got recording equipment, and I started a home studio, and I've been making records at home. And I've just released the first 2 recordings that I did. I'm working on a couple more, so I'm keeping busy, putting out music, and but no, very few live performances.
So this album you're working on right now, has it been released or I mean,
Two of them were released. One was released. The first one is called "The Bloody Happy Song." It was released about a month and a half ago, and then just this week released the second one called "Under a Blanket of Blue," which is a duo CD with a great guitar player, Dave Blankhorn. He's an Australian guitar player, lives in France.
Now, if anyone was interested in listening to your albums or purchasing them, how would they go about?
Oh, you can't buy them. No, I'm kidding. Yes, the easiest thing is just to, you can get them on iTunes and Amazon and stuff like that, or you can email me at harryallen@me.com and order it through me.
Excellent. And like you were saying, this kind of forced you into retirement. I mean, what do you see happening to jazz and the New York City nightlife and music in general? Like, what direction do you see it going in? I mean, obviously most of us want to be optimistic on this.
Yeah, that's a funny thing. I'm a pretty optimistic person, but in this case, I have no idea. When they started the lockdown, I thought it was going to be for 2 weeks.
Like most of us. Yeah.
And now it's 6 months, and restaurants are, operating at 25% capacity or something like that. So I just don't know. I don't know whether in 6 months the music business is going to be back to normal, or whether it's going to take 6 years or 10 years or a year. I have no clue. I don't have the beginning of a thought of how it's likely to end up.
Yeah, most of us are pretty much, I guess we could say winging it, or we're just going with the flow. But as humans, we're resilient, and we adapt. Now it's just a matter of how we are going to adapt to the situation.
Yeah.
And I mean, these pandemics have happened in all throughout history.
Yeah, but we've never had a world shutdown like this. But
Exactly.
I'm just trying to make, like I said, with the recording, I'm trying to make the best of it. I'm producing music every day. I'm writing a lot of songs. I'm, making these records. I did, as Rodney did too, lots of traveling. Every week I was somewhere different. And 6 months sleeping in my own bed, I feel physically better than I have in a long time.
A lot of people.
I'm a lot less tired. I'm not worn out on the road. So I'm a big tennis fanatic, so I've been able to play a lot of tennis. You know, once they open up the courts.
So you can say you feel like invigorated now.
Yeah,
Like
it's
you're kind of like you're kind of reborn.
yeah. The only thing is I have to make more money. I have to make more money because I'm making some money with recording projects, but in order to make a living at it was, you know, well, as soon as the unemployment ends, I'm going to have to make more money than I'm making right now with it. But
Exactly.
I'm working at it, so
Like, I think the key is just to remain optimistic and keep grinding and
Yeah,
doing what you
right.
do best.
Yeah.
And we're all hoping that things will, I mean, they'll never be back to what we were accustomed to, but, you know, we can just continue evolving.
yeah.
And I guess one last question. What is your purgatory perception on this time?
I just am trying to continually find things to keep my interest and give a purpose to every day. You wake up, you don't want to be
You
like,
don't wanna be caught in
okay,
Groundhog's
so
Day.
let me watch TV, you know, watch the Yankee game with no people in the stands. No, I've gotten really into the recording thing. I'm learning. I learned how to master my own tracks and just finding things to keep my interest and keep myself in a good mental
That's really important.
mental place. It's very
It's
important.
really important because if you don't do things like that, I know you can probably slip into a lot of people
Right.
falling into depression.
Yeah,
but,
and
you know, it's a matter of really being strong with yourself. And
Yes.
hard on yourself.
Yeah.
And really pushing yourself.
absolutely, you have to. And I have a wonderful wife, and we help each other. If I feel down, one day she'll say, "Come on," and if when she feels down, I do the same.
That's
So,
amazing.
Yeah.
That's great.
You know, yes, it would be nice to go out and eat in restaurants whenever you want and all that, and travel again and stuff like that. But we're hanging in there.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Stephanie.
Likewise.
What? Nothing else.
Then again,
gonna do it
with
to
the
try to
shit
get
that he's
his-
done, with the stuff that he's done in general, grab him by the, you
Yeah.
know,
He-
I
what
mean,
is-
if he didn't get in massive hot water for that one, I mean,
Well,
the
you know
people
what
brushed it
happened the
off.
first time is
They made it a joke.
women thought
It's insane.
It was a joke. It became a joke. People were making Halloween costumes about it.
So, my friend, my good buddy Noah, introduced me to this gentleman, and I'm not good with introductions, but so I just highlighted a few things that he said about our next guest. He says Alfredo Martinez is a pirate. His career has encompassed as much drama, scandal, chaos, violence, and insanity as any artist since Caravaggio. Alfredo has the best stories. He speaks freely and frankly. And my favorite, I don't have a brother, but I imagine that I might have done this. At the age of 12, he strapped his little brother to a rocket engine. In April of this year, he allegedly died of heart failure on Facebook. That was a few years ago.
yeah.
So,
My brother was getting even for the rocket.
wow. Okay, so let's welcome our next guest to Purgatory Perceptions, Mr. Alfredo Martinez.
Well, you know, these are all blasphemous lies. I was an innocent bystander.
That's what everybody says. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. That's your defense.
Yes.
So, we talked on the phone. I got something on me? Okay, thank you. We talked on the phone for the first time, and we were talking about the gentleman we were just discussing, President Trump. And you casually mentioned, you know, you said he's a grifter, blah, blah, blah. And then you said, as a grifter myself, I understand what that's about. And I said, wait, what? So you got arrested for, did you actually do this, the Basquiat?
I have no recollection of any of this.
So
But
the claim that
rumor
was
is-
told to
the
me,
rumor is I forged Basquiat.
he actually got arrested and for forging Basquiat's paintings. So they must have been believable.
Well, the thing is about forgery is it's for it to sell and actually make money at it, it's always an inside job. So the art dealer I was working with had to deal with Basquiat's father to authenticate anything presented to him. Basquiat's father would get in cash 10% of whatever we had would be the estimated value of it. This is why he's an unindicted co-conspirator of mine, basically. And he was forced out of the Basquiat Authentication Committee soon afterwards.
Oh, so because it goes. But how would he know best what's a Basquiat?
Well,
Because
that's
my
the,
understanding was they had a fractured relationship, right?
well, the thing is, with authentication committees, normally you set up an authentication committee of experts. The family steps aside and gives these people control. But the father he's a former accountant, so he just saw it as a money-making thing. So he decided to try to take control of it so they could squeeze as much money out of it as possible. The sisters have taken over for the father of the estate, and they follow the same pattern, not making fakes, but they've, in the sense of licensing out the rights to make Basquiat paintings.
And T-shirts and anything
yeah,
like
well,
that.
that always happened, but the licensing out of reproduction paintings is happening now, and which is very unusual for this kind of thing. I myself also make reproduction drawings of Basquiat.
So I guess then I'm trying to understand how it comes that you get arrested. Or
No. Before I was selling them as Basquiats through an art dealer.
So now you're doing them as reproductions.
Then I just do them by my,
Now
as
they're
my-
stated as reproductions.
Basquiat reproductions. I signed them fake in the back.
So So how do you feel about this?
I think that's interesting. I want to hear more.
Well, I knew Basquiat. I would have gotten to know him better if I was a big-titted blonde, but I knew him slightly.
Oh wow, what was he like? And what was your interaction with him like?
Hello, Mr. Basquiat. Oh yeah, cool. Like, it's like
And then
What made you want to
it's just
reproduce?
like he only talked a lot to people he really was close with. He kept it mostly kept his cards close.
to his vest, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like can be very treacherous. I mean, I was closer friends to his close friends, like Rene Ricard.
Mm.
And the funny thing about, let's say, the Basquiat movie made by Julian Schnabel is that,
They were kind of frenemies, right?
well, everyone's kind of frenemies in the art world when you get up that high. But
You recognize?
No,
this?
it is true. It is, they'll talk to your face, right, and then right behind you they say that guy did.
yeah, it's like
Jesus.
It happens.
I find it a little ridiculous, but it just happens. It's like a bunch of bald men fighting over a comb.
That's crazy.
But it's like, but the movie was accurate about the art world in general, but not Basquiat specifically.
Was he like a composite of a few different characters or something
Yes.
like that?
The only, even the Rene Ricard character in the film was toned down from what Rene really is like. I mean, Rene's not just gay; he's jazz hands gay.
The views expressed here are not those. Okay, wow. Okay, toned down. That guy was pretty out there in the film.
Yeah, he was a good friend.
But what made you? What made you want to start doing this forgery situation? In the
Well,
beginning?
the really funny thing is I started making forgeries before I was even really an artist. I could draw and all this stuff, but I never took any of that seriously. I just, even after I started showing my own work, I feel like I was only really an adventurer until like maybe 10 years ago when I came back from China. Making my own work seriously. I mean, I would have had a bigger career if like a good example is someone like Tom Sachs. We started about the same time. He has a much bigger career than me because he worked at it. He played the games. He went in there. And he earned. We have very similar work, and some people think he ripped me off, but I don't think that. It's like he worked at getting where he was. Like I had some good ideas, but I didn't push them enough. So basically, me making forgeries gave me so much of a financial buffer that I kind of like let go, like didn't push my own artwork enough.
Interesting. So it kind of stole your desire to really be.
Well, if you're not hungry, it's like it's like part of the thing. Part of the thing people forget is like you need to be hungry
No,
to have
no.
a good career.
I'm aware of that as
I
a
mean,
lot of
someone
my
who
friends
could
are hungry right now. But I guess I'm wondering where was most people who do art, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you paint, if I play music, I did it to express something that I felt like wasn't being expressed. And so while you learn from your peers or the people you look up to, it's still about me doing it my way. I want to do what I wanted to do. So it seemed like it was like an egoless kind of pursuit in a certain way as well. Like,
Well, the thing is, the funny thing
to see your work passed off as somebody else's,
Well, the thing is, the funny thing is, I remember I was working for this one painter, and he thought I was a great assistant because I could detachedly make his artwork for him without including my ego into it for him. And that's why he said I was the best assistant, because he just like ignored me until my work was done. It's like this and sign it, because he was so happy with my work.
How did that make you feel?
Well,
Like at the
he
time,
paid me, so
it was
great.
more of like it was more of a financial thing.
I like your advice.
Yeah,
Like, just give me the
no,
money.
because some people will do it to learn. Some people will do it for financial reasons or
I
both.
didn't really feel like I
or-
didn't have a lot to say until I didn't start making my own work till I was 24. I started making fakes when I was 18.
But that's sort of the way it used to be in the old days, right? Like Leonardo or someone like that, they would work as an apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
And even now, half of these guys don't paint their own work, right? Like,
The thing is, I think the art world is very cruel but very fair. It doesn't acknowledge anyone unless they have really good talent, and also you have to have also the social skills, the social skills and good talent to move forward. If you don't have both of
Absolutely
those,
right.
it's like you can't get anywhere. And it's like the art world ignores rich people who try to get in the art world because they have money. It's like they'll drink your drinks and eat your food, but they'll laugh at you behind your back because like you're terrible. You can't be a terrible artist and make it in the art world. Doesn't matter where you come from. Doesn't matter. I mean, you may make it administratively, like working in a museum, working in a gallery,
right.
but making the actual artwork, it's like you gotta have the skills.
So what's the equation? You know, is it 60-40? Is it 50-50? Like talent versus knowing? Because now we have
Well,
like
the thing
Art
is-
Basel and all these different things. Like,
Well, the thing is, people have to look at their careers like dating. It's like I remember explaining to young women artists, like when you're trying to promote your career, it's, let's say you're hot with young women, your role's now reversed as being an artist. You're now the balding, like out of shape guy trying to date the hot 20-year-olds.
wow.
Because, it's like, you gotta catch
I know exactly what you mean.
the good gallery owners are just, unless you catch their eye and make good work and have the social skills to be able to talk to them without when you're dating, if you're too needy, like doesn't matter how good looking, the girl's just gonna like not look, even talk to you after the first time. It's like
Right.
you gotta have that kind that like
Gotta not need them.
yeah you.
But do you
yeah,
feel
but,
so? So I guess you're describing a situation where the middlemen, that's my term for all the people that they're not buying the work and they're not making the work. So I call them all middlemen, whether they're photographing.
The thing
work
is, what they have is good eyes.
but you're saying that they have the majority of the power. Then.
Well, it's just how it is. It's like, it's like you're trying to argue with gravity or physics. Like that's how it is.
Is it that deep?
I need to get a notepad because he's saying all these things. Like you're saying so many things that I'm just like, I gotta make sure I remember them. Yeah.
I guess it's true.
No, but it is very true.
I mean, everyone thinks it's monolithic and unfair, and I like that. It's like the art world accepted me for various reasons. It's like I made friends with people in the art world even before I was really trying to make my own artwork. I worked as an assistant. Worked as an assistant. One thing I suggest for any young artist, when you try to meet gallery owners and stuff like that, and there's a gallery you like, make friends with the low-level staff because they know everything.
I've heard several stories where people went and met the assistant, and the assistant would let them into the studio, et cetera, et cetera. So, okay, so let's move on. So you're painting, and now you start finding your own niche. Is this when your infatuation with the guns and this sort of thing?
Oh, that was beforehand.
So you were already painting guns. And
I
you
was
already
always
had
well.
this-
The thing is, I remember there was this one real like in my travels of doing forgeries. A guy asked me, this art dealer who was kind of like an art dealer like this, asked me if I knew anything about guns, and could I make something for him. And he knew, it's like, it's like I've been involved in guns when I was very young. I made a zip gun when I was in high school.
Now, for the people who
Wow.
are watching who don't know what a zip gun is,
It's a homemade pistol.
It's a homemade pistol.
I was doing, it's like
used to see
there's this
those.
whole subculture of people doing like making like tinkering in the basement. And it's like I even had one Yosemite Sam moment where I was trying to make a landmine.
And you hurt yourself. You
It blew up in my face, but far enough away where all it did was blow my eyebrows off and singe my hair.
How old were you when you had your first creative little experience or your experimentation? Like, when do you remember?
I think like 6.
What did you do? Do you really?
I remember going to the back of my TV set and pulling out all the vacuum tubes, and then hearing my parents come up the stairs and then trying to put them all back.
Jeez,
And
I'm sure they loved that.
And then I put them all back, but not in the order they're supposed to be. So my dad turned the TV, poof, a little smoke mushroom cloud came out the back.
Did they ever figure out that it was you?
Oh, of course.
So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Brooklyn, Sunset Park,
Okay, yeah.
down by the expressway.
So, not too far away from where Basquiat would have been, right?
Not
And
too
a lot
far.
of these painters and Woody Allen and all those kind of people were there doing that.
It was my father described the neighborhood is that you would park your car there at night, and the next day would be different car on 4 cinder blocks.
'Cause
Like
it's
your
still
car would
your-
already be scavenged away. They would already be cycled over to the next car parked there, having no.
That's how bad it was.
Wow. Okay, so now you're 24, you're painting, and you're painting guns, and people are starting to like this situation.
I'm also doing stuff like robots. I was working with a performance art group called Collective Unconscious.
What was that like?
Imagine Mad Max as a performance troupe. We all
What does that mean?
we all
What does
made
that
these,
even mean?
I helped them make all these weird costumes for them to do performances,
Oh, okay.
and it was kind of like Greek, imagine Greek plays, but made with all these Mad Max outfits.
Like Road Warrior kind of.
Oh, wow. That's okay.
And it's I even made prop guns for them to fire stuff out of for performance. It was on CNN.
Where were they performing?
In Lower East Side. I remember one performance we did which was hilarious. We had a friend who worked for the tour bus company that goes around and drive. And what we did was we dressed up, and then we made ladders with hooks, and we made it look like we were invading the like pirates,
Oh, it was a
attacking.
double-decker bus?
Yes,
Those double-deckers.
like climbing the bus.
Oh my goodness.
You wow.
It was all performance. They were just all sitting, taking photos of us.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Woof. Yeah, I was just trying to play some drums at that age.
I think he had enough fun at that time to.
Well,
to
the art
To
world
last a lifetime, right?
The lifetime, exactly.
Yeah, it's like all sorts of shenanigans going on. It was all fair game. I mean, you know how the Blue Man Group started?
No.
It started at the Gag. Eric Good had a nightclub, area nightclub, and across the street there was an empty building, and the Blue Man Group, in their blew up faces and stuff, set up a rope line, like in front of the empty building, and with clipboards, and people started lining up like it was a nightclub. And people kept on coming up to them, offering them money, and they said, "No, you're not on the guest list." And all night, they were refusing people entrance to this abandoned building.
That's what New York was like. So,
You ever heard of PS1?
yeah, in Brooklyn.
You know how she started?
No.
She
Sonoma,
took
right?
over an abandoned building in the East Village from crackheads. Her and her boyfriend forced the crackheads out. They cleaned it up, and they turned it into a gallery, the building. It's a 2-story building. I think it used to be a supermarket, and or a store. The second floor was their offices where they lived. The ground floor they made into a gallery. For the first 2 years they were there completely illegally, squatting the place. They were stealing electricity from the lamppost on the corner.
You knew this already?
I grew up in the hood, so I know people used to steal.
Oh, I've seen that,
Thieves
but I
used to
didn't know
steal. But people
PS1
would do
started
from
like
buildings.
that.
Buildings
So
they would
then-
do that.
Yeah, but then she was getting reviewed in the New York Times and the Village Voice.
Yeah, should have known anything.
But
right?
everything she was doing was.
Oh, they talked about it. It's like, but it got to the point where the city wanted to take the building back, and instead of they knew they would look really bad if they tried to evict it, so they offered her a trade for the PS1 building, for the building she had.
So like some kind of social eminent domain or something.
Is it located in Queens now?
Yeah,
Right?
that's
It's-
where
That's
this
the
is how she
location
got the
that-
building in Queens.
In Queens, right?
Oh, that's insane. Okay, so I want to fast forward a little bit.
So you saw how much it was like the pirate's paradise back then. So what I was doing, making forgeries, was kind of like like a inside secret. Like I thought I was all being secret squirrel, but people,
Secret squirrel.
everyone in the art world kind of knew what was going on with me.
Really?
So people talk, right?
So how were people?
Well,
Were they trying to get in on it? Were people trying to?
Well, I'll tell you a funny story. I went to with my friend. The first time I started making forges, when I went with my friend called me and saying his girlfriend was really mad. She was really bored. She wanted to go to an art opening, and he called me to help him out. It's like, well, you're in luck today. There's an art opening tonight at Basquiat's show of Bohemian. It happened to be Basquiat's last show. We showed up there. He was giving away a poster where he was posing with a book called The Subterraneans by Kerouac, and he was signing the posters and giving them away. We got in line, me, him, and his wife, who looked like Jessica Rabbit. So we got to the end of the line. He signed my poster. He signed my friend's poster, and he did a drawing, and then put his phone number in her poster.
That's This
Do you
old
still
school,
have your poster?
old school art guys? Yeah. Where's your poster?
Where's
now?
your poster?
Oh, I'm about to tell you how that happened. So then, she disappeared for like 2 weeks. Like
I wonder,
it's like,
wonder where she
well,
went.
how that happened was we got invited to the dinner at Indochine, the party for the party for Basquiat
Oh, okay. Yeah.
at Indochine. At that, we got invited to go to the dinner. But the thing is, where it's like long table set up, Basquiat, my friend's wife, and
And he's way on the other.
yeah, and we are on the other, keep on the other edge.
I've seen that move before.
So then, I made a very bad joke. My friend came up like halfway through dinner. He was already smoke coming in there, mad. And then he went to the bathroom, and then he came back, and his wife and Basquiat were gone. And then he's like steaming there, and then where did they go? It's like, and I made the bad joke of, oh, don't worry, she's in the bathroom giving a blowjob. She'll be right back.
Oh, did he talk to you after that?
He grabbed me. Where is the studio? We gotta find him now. And you ever see he was
Jesus,
Yeah,
that's
he
old
was-
school stuff there.
you imagine when a 5 goes out with a 10, and he was a 5.
Jesus. Okay, so I want to fast forward.
No, you want to hear the end of the story.
Okay.
So I bring him to Basquiat's studio, and he's like yelling outside in this story building. So at the end, he starts climbing.
There's no security or no people around.
This was
or-
like in the 80s, man. This is 19
So where's the studio in the East Village? Or
and
Soho,
it's in that border area around Lafayette, between East Village and Greenwich Village. It's on Great Jones Street.
Oh, this. Yeah. All right. I read a lot about that studio. Wow. The studio.
That was actually Eric Goods owned that building. The owner of area and stuff like that.
Wow.
It's like the art world is like a small incestuous town.
Is it still that way?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But so he starts climbing the fire escape on the building next door and climbs the roof and gets in to a skylight at Basquiat's studio. And I'm out there freaking out because my friends just broke into Basquiat's studio. And he comes out, they're not here. And I pull him out and he closes the door behind him. Let's get the fuck out of here. So she didn't show up until 2 weeks later. like, raining, and it's like she knocks on his door in his apartment and is like, let me in. And she brings back all these Basquiat drawings. She had a tube of Basquiat drawings.
And was that okay?
Like,
a
you
peace
gotta remember,
offering?
Yeah,
It was
like-
a peace offering to come back home.
like, studios are like, you know how big stores have this phrase for, there's like when they lose stuff from employees stealing stuff, or like they have like a leakage, or
Yeah.
know.
Spillage.
they have like things, it's like, so he, a lot of drawings, a lot of it's like a very chaotic studio. A lot of people come in, and people like, the drawing on the table, people just walk out with it. I mean, as soon as your stuff is worth anything, I mean, I realized I had a moment when someone did that to me, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm worthy.